Rick Grimes, the man, the myth, and the legend himself. Rick is well known as the main character of The Walking Dead and for being a great leader by doing whatever it takes to keep his people safe. Over the course of the series, he has most certainly had his fair share of badass moments. So to start off at number 5, we got the bar fight in Season 2. The scene in the bar with Rick and Hershel and Glenn was the first non-walker threat that Rick experienced. At first, they thought those people were somewhat normal and everything would be fine, but then tension grows amongst the men, and after a bit of cautious talking, a gunfight broke out. Rick ended up killing the 2 or maybe 3 guys, I can't remember exactly, and then they stayed put in the bar. After some time, the rest of those men's people showed up and another gunfight broke loose. But of course, Rick Grimes came out on top, and the 3 of them, Rick, Glenn, and Hershel, made it home safe. But now on to number 4. So number 4 has definitely got to be the killing of the prisoners. After Rick and the prisoners settled on an agreement, they all went to clear out a cell block that prisoners would have been able to stay in. But during the clearing, the one prisoner with long hair, I think you know who I'm talking about, threw a walker into Rick and almost got him killed. Then, shortly after that, the guy slices a walker's head, but in the follow-through almost hits Rick. Then they stood there face to face, and without any hesitation, Rick drove his machete hard into the skull of that prisoner. Anyways, now on to number 3. So number 3 is the slitting of Negan's throat, which ended the Savior War as a whole. So this scene is badass because it truly shows that Rick still had the brutality in him to do whatever needed to be done to keep his group safe. Although I wish Negan would have been killed instead of kept alive, the way Rick ended the arc of the biggest and baddest threat they had ever faced was epic. And there's also the one scene where he was fighting Negan in that burning building, and then Rick lights Lucille on fire. That was also a truly badass scene. But anyways, on to number 2. So number 2 was a very close call between 2 picks, but the scene I've chosen is the scene where Rick takes a bite out of that Claimer guy's throat. The reason he took the bite was because his son was getting toyed with by a freaky looking dude and Daryl was getting beat to death. The Claimer guys also said that they were about to kill all of them. So at that moment, Rick didn't even hesitate. He just took a big bite out of the guy's throat and then brutally stabbed a guy over and over again. This was definitely one of the most badass Rick scenes of the entire show, I'd say. But without further ado, let's get straight into the number 1 most badass Rick Grimes moment of the entire show. The number 1 most badass Rick Grimes moment of the entire show has definitely got to be the killing of the leader cannibal from the terminus that happened in the church. The way Rick entered the church only to see the guy that he swore to kill about to kill his family, and then he shoots the fingers off of him and makes him kneel. Then he tells him that he already made him a promise and kills him with the epic red machete. This was most certainly the coldest and most brutal scene for Rick Grimes of the entire show as a whole. But anyways, thanks for watching and please like and subscribe for more content.